Have you ever wondered, like, you felt like you're doing everything right, right? Maybe you're walking every day, maybe you're eating well, and you've never worked this hard before in your life, and the scale's not budging. What's up with that? Today we're going to bust some myths and get real about like why walking might not be enough for weight loss and what you can do today to change that. And sometimes it's the fact that we're in a different space than we think we are. So we're going to talk about that too. Like one of the things, yeah, I won't get too far ahead of myself. As you can see behind me, I have my whiteboard. So I have my glasses. I'll try to stay in the frame, but maybe not. Maybe you'll just see my words. Let's see if I can just adjust this a little bit. Maybe. That's a little bit better. Hey. Okay. Well, I'm glad you're here. Welcome to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Karen, and we don't wait until we reach our goals to be happy. We fall in love with who we are being every day. And on this channel, we talk about all the things in between the ups and downs of weight loss and through the decades. And walking is a big thing on this channel if you haven't noticed before, but I get a lot of comments and I want to address some of the things that some of smart people have put in the comments, like, yeah, you need more than walking. And walking for weight loss, comes in a completely different set of ideas for everybody. So I'm going to jump into the common myths. Oh, it's probably important to also say to you, I am not a doctor. I was a fitness trainer. I'm not anymore. I'm just a regular girl, okay? Woman. I should probably say woman now. I'm over 50. There's wisdom there now. But here's the thing. There's a lot of influencers out there. And unfortunately, what's happening in some cases is we're kind of reverting backwards to where body positivity is changing. There's a new trend on TikTok, skinny talk or something like that, and where people are starving themselves. It seems like the trend is smaller is always better. So although I don't always like to lead on my channel with things about weight loss, it's a very real thing. Talk to pretty much any woman and they want to at least lose like the last 5 pounds or the last 10 pounds. And I have a spoiler alert for you. If you're like at that last 10 pounds or the last 5 pounds, you might be at your ideal body weight. And the time now is not to lean into how to lose more weight. The time now is to look more at body composition and strength and power. And what can I do? Like, congratulations, you're there. You made it. You're done your weight loss journey, weight loss journey. I mean, that's not, it shouldn't be called a journey because it doesn't end, right? Journeys usually end. So why don't we just call it a choice? Okay, a choice to live in a healthy, energetic body. And it's okay to also be fat and fit. Okay, so I'm a little extra heavier than I want to be. I'm okay with that. I still love my body. At the same time, I do want to make sure that I continue to stay healthy and lean so that 10 years from now, 20 years from now, bad habits don't creep in that lead me to not being able to get off the floor or not being able to hike that mountain. So let's just dive into some of the myths before I go ranty. Maybe I'll put my glasses on too, because that's just kind of fun. Okay, then I can see you. Can you see me better? I can see you better. Okay, so let's talk about first the common myths. I'm going to get my Sharpie out. I'm going to try and make sure I talk into the microphone so I'm not like talking over here. So let me know if you can't hear me. Okay. Common myths. Can you tell me, comment below, guess what I'm going to write on some of the myths? okay, about weight loss and walking. I'm going to write them up. More is better. Also, let me know if you're watching the replay. Walking is enough. I'm even guilty of saying this. And I think in some cases it is, and we're going to get into that later on in this video. Calories in, calories out. Okay, let's dive into the elephant in the room. Food matters, okay? The quality of the calories matter more than the calories. Yes, if you overeat good calories, you'll probably weigh a little bit more, okay? Like if you're eating more than what you expend. So, and everybody is an individual at this. But if you're eating quality calories, it becomes a little harder to overeat because you'll be more full. Quality calories have more density. I wrote a whole book on eating for energy, and I'll make sure that that's in the description below. It's called Be Weightless, Like Your Body, Love Yourself. It has everything in there about eating for energy rather than dieting. But I'll go into that a little bit more later in this video as well. So stay tuned. Okay. We all know that something changes. Something changes after 35, right? This is all, again, it's all over the internet, and it becomes really difficult to decipher, okay, what the heck is right for me? It doesn't, you can put it into Google, you can put it into YouTube, and everybody has their opinion. Everybody has a program. But what's more important is that you learn how to tap into your own programming, because it's not a one size fits all. It's not something that you can just take a blueprint and fix it with somebody else's blueprint that worked for them. You'll see it all the time. Someone said, this worked for me. I'll give you the tools. I'll give you the trick. I'll give you the diet. And maybe a handful of people it works for, but the majority of people kind of stay the same. They might get fast results. If you haven't done anything before, you're going to get fast results regardless of what you try that's new and different, that has to do with burning more calories and eating less, right? That's just going to happen, especially if you're new at it. The closer you get to where your ideal body weight is, the less the weight's going to come off. It's just not going to happen. And that's good, okay? You want to be excited and celebrate the fact that you're at your healthy body weight. That might be different than somebody else's healthy body weight. And that's not what we're looking at. We're not looking at someone else. We're looking at you, okay? Okay. All right. We got that going. Okay. So something changes after 35. Hormones. The elephant in the room. Okay, something changes after 35 and the hormones start to go like this. And it's our job to help them be steady and stable and calm. But what happens? What's one of the first thing that happens when our hormones start, talking to us? The first thing that happens, the first symptom for most people is, guess what? Weight gain. Okay. So then what do? We Google how to lose weight. We go on a diet, we exercise more, we eat less. And, if it's the first time we've ever done it, we're going to lose weight. And then we're going to get to the stuck point. And then what happens? We want to lose more because we want to get to the last 10. So instead of addressing the secondary thing that happens, right, is muscle. You can see my messy writing, muscle loss. That's the second thing that happens after 35. So you got to build muscle. More muscle is what helps to keep the metabolism rolling, meaning you can continue to eat the same amount of food. However, again, more is not better. Okay, that's a myth. More is not better. Okay, so there's stress. All right, I've talked about this before too. This is a big one, okay? So we have a choice. Let's imagine we have a cup, okay? My box. We have a cup and it's invertedly, like it's getting loaded with stuff that we cannot control. We can't control what's coming in on the news. We can't control what our neighbor is doing. Sometimes we can't control what's happening in our own house or with our own bodies, and it causes stress, okay? There are things that we can control. We can decide to turn off the news. We can decide to turn down our level of intensity when it comes to, you know, how we treat our bodies in fitness and wellness, right? Every workout is not supposed to kill you. And every diet or adding intermittent fasting to, a fasted workout to a hard workout and a workout that's leaving you depleted, and you're adding more stress into the bucket. And before you know it, it's spilling over. It doesn't know where to go. And you're getting anxious and all these other symptoms come apart. So what would happen if instead of going to the more is better route, you decide that you're going to loosen the reins a little bit? You cannot allow fear of gaining the weight, because that's just going to make you more stressed and probably make you gain weight. After 35, we are more susceptible to stress. And stress is a bigger insulin disruptor, which insulin is, the hormone responsible for making us gain weight. Stress is a bigger insulin disruptor and a sleep disruptor, which if you're not getting sleep, you're not doing anything. If you're not getting the sleep right, you're not doing anything. I will repeat that for the ones in the back. If you're not sleeping 7 to 9 hours a night, you are not going to lose weight, because that's where the body starts to recalibrate and put everything and de-stress and repair. And so I know it's a catch-22. We've talked about this before in this channel too, is that you need to be sleeping well to exercise, and then exercise will help you sleep well. So there's other things that you can do on sleep hygiene, and I made a whole video about that a while back. I'll make sure that it's linked below. So we're not going to dive too deep into that, but that is a definite factor of over 35. So these are the things that are happening. And we already know that there's 5 big benefits. The big 5. Big 5. When done right, there's 5 benefits to walking, right? At least. What are they? Go ahead and put them in the chat below. Okay, I'm going to write them down. Boost metabolism. Maintain muscle. I keep spelling that wrong, Oh my goodness. Okay. improve sleep. Okay, there's one more. And this one's a controversial one. Okay, so we got the big five. We're going to boost the metabolism. We're going to maintain muscle, reduce stress, improve sleep, and target belly fat. But only if we do this right. Hi, Katie. I see you. Yeah, catch the replay. It'll be up in a little bit. You know me, I might be a little long-winded, but it's good to see you. Okay, so variation matters. Okay, so the big five, you're going to get all these things that we've already talked about, but variation matters. So before you start to think about more is better, okay, I want you to start thinking about the variation. Like, what can I do from my walks to leave me feeling energized? I don't know about you, but if you've ever gotten up in the morning and gone for a big long walk, right? Because your goal is to maybe hit 10,000 steps and you're going to be sitting all day long, and you decide, okay, I'm going to go for a big long walk, get all my steps in this morning. And then you get home after maybe walking for an hour and a half, and you feel like, I'm done. Like, I'm just done for the day. So you end up sitting, right? And just like running, you end up increasing your appetite, right? So it's hard not to eat a little bit more. And you decide that you're not going to go mow the lawn or vacuum or do any housework because you're so damn tired from that walk. And then maybe by dinner time, you might actually feel like, well, maybe I just need more food, and you haven't moved all day. Okay. That's one way to get your steps in, but it's not the best way. The best way to get your steps in is to leave your walk wanting more. And I'll tell you why. This variation matters, okay? So the variation that I like to give in the Walk It Off program is things like, all the walks are like 30 minutes tops. You want to maybe add 40 minutes if you're adding in your warm up and your cool down. And you're going for like intervals or hills. And so by the time you're done 30 minutes, you're like, oh, I'm so glad I'm done, right? But the cool thing about that is because you're doing it in a nice short amount of time, it does not stimulate your hunger hormones. It leaves you with energy, and it's amazing for consistency, right? Because you leave wanting more. So what happens is maybe later on in the day or after dinner, you decide to go for another walk, or you decide it is the day to mow the lawn or vacuum the whole house or clean everything because you still have energy. You're not depleted. Maybe you call a friend and say, let's go for a hike or let's do this. You want to make sure that your walks, your planned walks, are leaving you feeling energized, not depleted. And variation matters. Okay? I got another page. Okay. So there's a couple of things that a lot of people leave out of their walking plan. Let's just call this what most people forget, okay, when they're building out their walking plan. Number one, The number one thing, walking in silence. So this also became a little bit of a trend on TikTok about a year ago. So people were so profoundly learning that when they walk without their phone or without, talking to somebody or without doing something or their headphones in, they just felt this profound sense of beauty, of internal knowing, of anxiety depletion. And there's a reason for that. There's a total reason for that. Is that when you go by yourself or with your dog, or you go for a walk and you're moving in motion and you're not taking anything in. It drives me bananas when people say, that's when you need to multitask, take your favorite podcast, your audiobook. All that's fine if you have trouble building the habit, but I always encourage you to start small, take the earbuds out for 5 or 10 minutes so that you have time to process nothing. That is something that is going to knock down the stress. Remember, if you're over 35, you got to knock down that stress, right? So if you don't have anything incoming, you're also able to actually think about, like, what am I feeling right now? Can I go faster? How's my body feel like? Is something feeling tight? Do I need to stretch things out? Instead of letting like the music carry you, it allows you to become one with your body, right? It allows you to connect because you are an ecosystem. You got to remember that. If things are not working physically, there might be something emotionally that needs processing, or vice versa. It's just a beautiful thing to walk in silence. You're going to get more benefits. You're going to get the creativity benefits. You're going to get to learn how to tune into your own fitness. And I think that that's the biggest benefit of it all. Like when I, started walking, we didn't have headphones. I could have brought a ghetto blaster on my shoulder or something. It was way back. And I'm really grateful for that because it doesn't bother me. However, if I'm doing something hard, difficult, I like music to carry me. So by all means, do what gets you consistent. That's the best place to start, and work towards walking in silence. The second thing here, eating for energy. Now, this is not popular culture. It's not telling you to go on a diet. It's not telling you to be in a calorie deficit. It's telling you to learn how to intuitive eat. And that not only means that you're eating the foods that make you feel the most energetic, it also means you're eating food that has energy. So live foods, right? And then, of course, if animal products are not going to be live, okay, that's a different conversation. But like good lean animal proteins, you want to have, things that you can pronounce. And the biggest thing for eating for energy is taking note of how